How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, MZ Boy, and before we do Star Ocean today, I thought I'd take a look at that I can't talk. The Project Triangle Strategy demo that was revealed during the Nintendo Direct yesterday. It looked really cool. I think it's made by the same people that did Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler. Um, So yeah, let's have a look at it. I like tactical RPGs. I like the Bravely Default devs. Sounds like it should be pretty cool. Welcome, Saiga. Looking cozy over there. It looks really nice. I love the style. One thing I'm personally not crazy about is how much they overuse the blur effects. It can strain the eyes a little bit, to be honest. But apart from that, I don't really have any complaints. Thank you for your download. This is a special pre-release version comprising chapters excerpted from the middle of the game. As you'll be joining the story in progress, you may find it difficult to fully grasp the events happening around you. However, we encourage you to enjoy the atmosphere of the game world. Battles have been ramped up in difficulty somewhat to allow you to fully experience the depth of the combat system in a limited number of stages. Experiment with different strategies to triumph over your foes. We hope you enjoy the game. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's a bird loading symbol. Okay.
On the faraway continent of Norzelia, three mighty powers reigned. The Kingdom of Glenbrook, through which runs the mighty Norzelia River, bringing flourishing trade. The Grand Duchy of Esfrost, a land of ice and snow beneath which slumbers rich veins of iron. And in the desert,
Well, they already start off with an advantage there.
From which is harvested the salt essential to life.
Kind of sounds like Glenbrook's getting the short end of the stick here, considering the whole war is over salt and iron.
With each nation controlling one vital resource, conflict between these three powers was all too common.
Wait, each nation controlling one vital resource? What was Glenbrook controlling? I mean, it just said that it had flourishing trade, which, fair enough, but it didn't say it was trading anything specific.
Minor disputes and skirmishes gave rise to fierce battles, and before long, the realm was engulfed in a bloody conflict that would rage on for years. Many died in what came to be known as the Salt Iron War. Brought to their limits and facing their mutual demise, the three powers at last negotiated a truce. Peace came to Norzelia, but only briefly. Shortly after assuming power in Esfrost, Archduke Gustadolf launched a surprise invasion of the neighboring kingdom of Glenbrook. The might of the Esfrostian forces, under the command of the formidable General of Lora, easily overwhelmed Glenbrook's crown city.
I like Avlora's design. That armor looks pretty awesome.
What was happening? The once proud Whiteholm Castle had fallen. Learning of the attack,
Project
House
Triangle
Wolf,
Strategy 3 houses.
first of the three
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, red, yellow, blue, three powers. Yeah, you right.
Who has only just taken over the mantle of lordship from his father. At his side are Benedict, House Wolfort's advisor and a veteran of the Salt Iron War. Roland, the younger prince of Glenbrook and Serenoa's childhood friend. And Frederica, his betrothed, who hails from the very duchy they now call foe.
Oh, good. Now we have complicating matters of intermarrying between the three kingdoms.
A new war is kindling, fanned by the unwavering convictions held by the rulers of these lands. And though they may not yet know it, Serenoa and his comrades are heading straight into the pyre. Esfrost's forces have breached the once proud walls of Whitehall, and now overrun its majestic halls, leaving only death and destruction in their wake. Like bloodthirsty beasts, they search, eager to carry out Archduke Gustadolf's orders to kill any member of the royal family on sight. With the very future of the kingdom hanging in the balance, Serenoa hurries to the throne room as fast as his legs can carry him.
Chapter 6. Remember me. Okay. Well, they're not joking about being in the middle of the story. Kind of makes you wonder if you get to choose a country from the start. Yeah. I imagine you can.
Do they mean to hurt us?
Unless they just... I don't know. I don't know how they would handle it if you didn't do that. Unless you just jump from nation to nation following each nation's story as things unfold. I guess that's possible, but it sounds kind of chaotic.
They will do no such thing, my princess. Not so long as I draw breath.
You sound way too laid back, my dude.
Cease the vainglorious theatrics. The city is mine now, and not a soul loyal to his grace still lives. You are all that remains. Not even the Dawnspear could hope to triumph against such odds.
You talk and talk, but do you have the courage to test your words?
This is folly, Gustadolf. What madness has possessed you? Is this how you would take revenge for what befell your father?
Nothing so petty as that, Ragnar. The war and all its atrocities should remain buried in the past.
Okay, so why are you doing this?
To commit new ones, to tear down the future we labored so long to achieve. Do you think Hyzant will stand idly by while Glenbrook burns?
I shudder to think what ends you hope to achieve by such vile means.
You always did lack imagination. However, not even I foresaw the opportunity this foolish partnership would afford me. As for Hyzant, she shall meet the same fate as your beloved kingdom before long.
Not gonna lie, Gustadolf's voice isn't really doing it for me yet.
Whatever your aims may be, you'll never...
Father, are you hurt?
Roland?
Brother?
You imbecile! Why do you return?
Be grateful to see me for once. I wasn't about to leave you to these wolves.
You stone-headed brat!
Rude.
Isn't my dear Frederica and her newly betrothed? And you've brought friends.
Stand down at once. On the honor of House Walford, we shall not let the royal family come to harm.
So you're the young well. You have courage, if not much sense. I'll give you that.
Brother, what is the meaning of this?
I am sorry for forcing this unpleasant scene upon you, Frederica. I had to take action sooner than anticipated.
I'm probably gonna have to turn the voice volume up. I had them all equalized, but the voices are being overwhelmed by the music.
Listen well. I, Gustadolf Esfrost, do hereby condemn the King of Glenbrook and his agents for their treacherous deeds.
And what deeds are those?
Scheming to claim the riches of the Grand Norzelian mines their own, they slaughtered my dear cousin Dragan in cold blood. For this most heinous crime,
Did this actually happen, or are you just using a
I
scapegoat?
declare their punishment must be swift and final.
So this is the lie you
What mummery is this? Dragan was killed by...
Silence, my lord.
Benedict? I commend you for delivering the traitorous Prince Roland to me. He too must answer for his crimes. Hand him over, and House Wolford may yet see itself through this.
Why do I get the feeling that Glenbrook did nothing wrong here?
You are my dear sister's husband.
This is just a war of aggression.
Bend the knee, and no harm shall befall you.
I will do no such thing. We won't be party to your treachery.
Your father was ever a thorn on my side. You seem intent on repeating that history. However, I fear you will not live long enough to accomplish it. General of Laura, kill them all.
Yes, my lord.
Stop! I won't let you... Ah!
Wow. Didn't even get a chance to fight in battle. He's just dead.
Brother!
What's this?
Maxwell, leave me!
Blood in a Sprite game?
Yes, my lord. My prince, with me.
I can't leave them. Step aside, Sir Maxwell.
My lord, we must flee at once.
But his grace.
Roland, Lord Wolford, there is no saving me. The future of Glenbrook lies in your hands now.
Father! My prince, follow us. But I... Damn it all!
After them.
You would once again see Norzelia bathed in blood, Gustadolf? Truly, you are lost.
This land has long been lost, Ragnar, but it need be no longer.
Being perfectly honest, so far the voice acting is kind of hit or miss for me.
This is where Sir Maxwell would have us wait.
Some of them are good, some of them just sound bored. I guess is a good word for it.
He is readying the boat for our escape as we speak.
A wise decision. No doubt the river is our only hope of getting out of the city alive. The streets are overrun with Esfrosti soldiers. Our foe no doubt searches for us on the other side of this very gate.
Then we wait here and pray for Sir Maxwell's swift return.
Huh. I was wondering what that profile button at the bottom right was. It actually brings up a profile of whoever's talking right now. Okay.
Father.
I guess that's kind of neat.
Frenny.
Maybe we get more detailed information in the full game.
What is she doing with us? She's with the enemy! What? No! I had no idea! Lies! It was your own brother that attacked the city! If I had any idea he was planning such atrocities, I would have stopped him. I know not what's possessed him.
My lady speaks the truth. We are as shocked and torn by this turn of events as you.
Enough, Hewitt. We can't be clawing at each other's throats with the Esfrosti army looking to hunt us down like dogs.
You know, in defense of Hewitt, was it? What her name? In defense of her, being concerned about a possible dagger in your back while you're trying to flee is a perfectly valid worry.
My emotions got the better of me for a moment. Forgive me.
Hewitt means no
I fully
more,
believe that
my
Frederica
fellow members of the
wants
King's
nothing to
Guard
do
were
with what her
slain before
brother's
her
doing,
eyes.
but at the same time, all you really have is her word for that.
For now, let us focus on the present. Prince Roland's safety and escape are our main concerns.
Of course.
These are trying times, but we mustn't let emotions cloud our judgment.
Is the army not coming for everybody? Are we just kind of chilling here? Okay.
Benedict,
You stopped me from speaking the truth of Dragon's death. To what end?
Gustadolf would frame Glenbrook for Lord Jergan's murder and claim it as pretext for his invasion. If he knew we witnessed the truth, our heads would already be on pikes.
It would seem he still intends to put them there.
Because you spat in the face of his demands.
What we know could expose his claims as the treacherous lies they are. If it came to light that Gustadolf orchestrated his own cousin's murder, no one would dare stand by his side.
Indeed. However, words have little substance on their own. Especially when weighed against the power and influence the Archduke commands. Your truth would be taken as the pathetic ramblings of a desperate man.
Once again, your wisdom makes me feel the fool.
No, we are all fumbling through these dark times. You spoke and acted as the Lord of House Wolford, and did so admirably.
And yet my actions have put everyone in danger. Father would have known better.
My God, Serenoa's voice.
Let us look forward, my lord, not back. There are truths yet cloaked in the shadows. We must survive and see them brought to light. For these truths shall be the weapons by which we lay Esfrost low.
Thank you, Benedict. I promise to do all in my power to see us through this safely. Every last one of us.
I know you will, my lord. Let us await Sir Maxwell's arrival.
Oh, sure was nice of Gustadolf just to let us leave. Sir Maxwell shall prove true to his word. We must be patient. The flow of the game comprises multiple phases. In between story, scenes, and battles, there will be an exploration phase. In this phase, you may move freely about areas to gather information from the people around you, obtain items, review mechanisms and terrain features that may serve you in battle, and more. To end the exploration phase and progress the story, press the L button. Okie doke. Benedict was right. Behind these doors, there might be dozens of those bastards just clamoring to take our heads. Guess we've got nothing to do till Sir Maxwell comes calling with our boat. Franny. Father. What has happened? Damn it all! What have we done to deserve this? On his own sister's wedding day, no less, and on the eve of a new age of harmony. What does he hope to gain from all this? How you feeling, sister of Warmonger? What grudge could my brother possibly bear against Glenbrook? I mean, you were there when he said what grudge, although we know that grudge is fabricated. Though the duchy's aims remain unclear, it stands to reason that our own Demesne? What is that word? As well may soon come under siege. Demesne. I've never seen that word before. Still, at present, it is our safest destination, and Prince Roland's only refuge. I hear footsteps in the distance. Our pursuers draw ever closer. We won't be safe here for long. If Sir Maxwell does not arrive soon with our escape vessel, then what, we die or something? Probably French. Usually is. Yeah, could be. But I'm not playing in French. They can't do that. That's illegal or something. We are the last alive who can keep Prince Roland safe at a time like this. I don't know how much, effect my choices are actually going to make in the demo, because it's a demo. But I'm kind of a liberty-minded person, so I want to work towards that. But I can't really tell which one it is. Well, I did a thing. I don't know what the thing did, but it did it. Well said, my lord. There's hope so long as we will stand, and stand together. And so long as you're here to guide us, Lord Wolfert. The boat should arrive soon enough. In the meantime, there's only one thing we can do. Well, can and must do. In Norzelia, 3 major guiding convictions prevail. Utility, morality, and liberty. This will take the form of invisible parameters influenced by the choices you make throughout the game. These parameters will not be reflected visually. I mean, you already said invisible, so that kind of goes without saying. Your decisions will shape Serenoa's convictions, as well as influence which companions may choose to join his cause. Okie doke. I think that's all I can do right now. Can I go up here? I can. Okay. So we're not completely done. No. I want to go to the top of the ladder, see if there's something I can search up there. Answer is no. I see a shiny. Give me shiny. Large HP recovery pellet. Okay. Do I see any other shinies? No. I think that's it. Curses. Where's the boat? That awkward moment when the mumbly, crappy voice actor streamers has a better voice acting than the main character of the game. Okay. What's this? Landroy's estate.
My lord.
I guess this is going on simultaneously elsewhere.
Esfrost's numbers are overwhelming. We would only be sending our men to their doom.
I will not stand idly by as the capital burns. Move, you fool! I'll go by myself if I must. Make that bastard Gustadolf remember how true my aim is.
It's too late, my lord. Whiteholm has fallen, and the capital has been taken.
Damn it all. Does his grace and the royal family still live?
There is no news, my lord.
Heavens be good. A dream of peace so soon dashed asunder. And under my watch.
Who are you?
Pray live long enough that I might atone for my failure in person.
My lord, I fear there are other concerns. The Esfrosti army may not stop at the capital.
Yes. The 3 great houses might still unite against them. We must prepare for the worst. Raise the alarum.
Alarum.
To muster our defenses.
I guess they're too good for alarms.
House Fox will not surrender without a fight.
So does viewing that actually do anything, or is it just like extra lore, basically? Okay, can't do anything else, so let's go to battle.
Prince, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. I've managed to procure a boat for our escape. It should arrive anon.
Thank you, Sir Maxwell.
Would that I could have done more. You did well to stand against Gustadolf. Your father would have been proud to see it.
Let's save the pleasantries until we're through the gate, huh? Everyone ready?
We are. Open the gates, Eridor!
Whatever you say, my lord. Here's hoping we can make it through without those bastards on the shore noticing.
In before soldiers immediately on the other side of the gate.
Over there!
There's too many of them. We need to turn back.
Close the gate. Throw the switch again. Well,
Give it up! There's nowhere to
we
run!
did, but they made it anyway.
Damn it. They've shut us in.
Is this it? If this is where I fall, I'm taking these Frosty bastards with me!
Don't be so quick to throw your life away, my prince.
Yes, we haven't lost hope yet. The boat will arrive shortly. We only need to fend them off until then.
Can we do that?
I fail to see why not. If you lend us your sword, that is.
As if I would do aught else.
Form around the prince.
It-
Protect him.
It sounds really weird for these guys to all have like North American accents, but talk as if from the Middle Ages. It sounds. It's such a weird combination.
Seize him!
They pour from the castle like rats.
I shall defend the rear.
If you're gonna do that, at least make the voice acting British or something. Alright. Basics of battle. 2 keys to victory in this in battle in this game are positioning and initiative. Positioning in terrain can be used to your advantage. Attacks from behind your foe or from high ground will do greater damage. The order in which units take action is determined by their speed attribute. Upcoming turn order is displayed via an indicator at the bottom of the battle screen. Keep a careful eye on turn order and review your allies' abilities when deciding how to deploy and advance your units. Yeah, pretty simple. Weather, sunrise, wind, breezy. Huh. I wonder if the wind effects, like, if it like, has an effect on something like bows and arrows. Otherwise, why even point that out? Ah, Roland's got a horse. Cool. I'm guessing that means he can move farther. And, slumber stab and take cover. Okay. Oh, let's go. Huette has a bird mount. Hell yeah. Let's see, I can't move Maxwell. What else we got? What's Gila about? Healing and buffing. Corentin is caster, and so is Federica. Looks like Benedict's a buffer. As far as I can tell, it's a pretty decent starting formation. What's encampment? At your camp, you can make ready for battle at your camp. You can make ready for battle at your encampment. That's a little redundant. By purchasing items and obtaining quietuses? Like what? Like Final Fantasy XIV Dark Knight? Okay, so what's a quietus? Okay, so looks like this costs a certain amount of some sort of currency, and it's a skill that you can learn. What do we have here? HP recovery items. $20 power versus 50. I might want to just hold on to it. Okay, we can't forge weapons with this dude yet. Probably just not part of the demo. Is that all we can do? Looks like it. Okay. Inventory. Oh, okay, so there's items that can deal elemental damage. If that's what you want to do. Serenoa has strength +3, Frederica has magic +3, and Benedict has HP. Alright, let's get started.
The gate to the drawbridge is shut tight. We must find a way to open it, and quickly.
A way? I mean, there's a switch right there. We used it ourselves, actually.
There should be a mechanism nearby.
Leave our pursuers to me. Open the gate, whatever it takes.
Board the boat from this drawbridge and make your escape. Defeat all surrounding foes to ensure safe passage. Okie doke. Pull the lever to open the gate and reach the drawbridge. To open the gate, move a unit to a square adjacent to the lever. Break through the gate and capture the drawbridge to make your escape before the enemy surrounds you. Okie doke. Enemy firing range. When moving a friendly unit, some squares will be colored purple. This means that the square is within enemy attack range. If an enemy is able to attack a friendly unit next turn, a red line connecting them will appear. Take care to move vulnerable units out of harm's way. Oh, that's helpful. Let's see. Deal physical damage to an enemy and have a chance to put them to sleep for 2 turns. Become invisible for 2 turns. Effect will be lost if you attack or stand directly in front of a foe. That sounds really useful. Wait, hold on. Act twice. Okay, so she just gets 2 actions every turn, just like that. Well, that's pretty awesome. I don't know if... Yeah, can't take any more actions. So, in turn.
Charge!
Roland Spear Knight. Okay. I kind of want to get behind the dude to attack him from behind, but I don't know how many of these units can reach him. 3. Would that be too much damage? I'm gonna risk it, see what happens.
This is it! Yes!
Damn!
Yes!
It's a lot of damage.
Time to take flight.
Okay, how much range does she have? 3 squares? About these diamonds next to the skills. Since all my characters have only had 1 every time their turn has come up, I'm guessing they get 1 per turn. So if you want to save them for more expensive skills, you just use your basic attack or something. I guess that makes sense. Oh no. 4 people can attack her there. No thanks. I'll just go here and shoot him.
Yeah.
Now!
Easy peasy. Basics of battle. Loot. Fallen enemies will drop loot. Move an ally to a panel containing a bag of loot to claim it. Loot will be added to your inventory after the conclusion of the battle if you triumph over your foe. Okie doke.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
I imagine Roland's going to be taking some damage, so I'll move him over here and boost his defense.
Ready for more!
From where shall we strike?
Let's see. I don't think there's much he can do quite at the moment, so I'll just move him forward over here.
On my honor as the Dawn Spear.
I can't use Maxwell. I guess he moves on his own. Okay, we got our healer. Currently, I don't think anybody's gotten hit yet, so... Yeah, everyone's fine. I'll just move her in turn.
Come at me!
Alright, this guy's pretty beefy. I think he's the kind of guy that you move right into the fray to draw out enemy attacks as much as possible. Shield, I mean, his name is Shield, his title is Shield Bearer, he has a bunch of HP. Let's see, 19 defense compared to... Well, his is 19 boosted. What about Serenoa? 17? Alright. So he is beefier. Oh, he even has Provoke. Damn. Well, I guess he's not called Shield Bearer for nothing. A shield is apparently his only weapon. He just hits things with it, I guess. I keep forgetting, you press X to end your turn.
So, it falls to me.
Create an obstacle on the target square that extends one square on both sides. The obstacle will disappear over time. Does that mean enemies won't be able to pass through it? Kind of want to see what happens. Oh, I just froze the loot. Is it gone?
Let me show you what I've learned.
Splendid.
Or is it just under the ice? Like, is it gonna come back, or did I just heck up? Let's see, who's coming up? Roland. Trying to figure out whose portrait is what. Okay, so Hewitt is also coming up. And Benedict. Maxwell's just kind of hanging back there doing whatever. Okay, that's the dude that's coming up after my people. But I also kind of have the feeling that Roland will be able to get him killed pretty quickly. Is my stealth going to work if the enemy's facing away? It did say that it goes away if I land directly in front of them, so I guess this probably still works.
I won't lose.
Oh wait, his spear has 2 range. Does that mean that it can hit both? Or only one? Let's see.
This is it.
Both! That's really cool, actually.
Sound strike.
Oh. Well, there goes her stealth.
Take flight.
Oh. I don't think she can reach. No, she can't quite reach the dude that's about to get a turn. Bunch of physical power. Okay, give that a shot. Not as much as I was expecting, to be honest. Did he get blinded? I don't know what status effects look like, so I can't really tell. Cane sword? I wonder if it's worth hitting him, or if I'd better off buffing somebody. Let's see, who's about to go, actually? Looks like Maxwell, then this dude, and then Sarah Noah.
Much appreciated.
On my honor as the Dawn Spear.
Maxwell, what are you even doing, dude? Ouch.
Defeat is not an option.
Okay, so Hawk Dive deals more damage if you're on higher ground when you use it. Like this?
You're open.
Necessary. He was already dead. Okay, that stings. Oh! A pursuing party has emerged from the castle.
It's the prince! Seize him!
Well, I guess now it's a good thing Maxwell was back there. Just
Quickly
wasting
now,
his
before more
turns.
arrive.
Let me heal your wounds.
My apologies.
I've been waiting for this.
Let's see, how much range? It's 2 spaces. Damn. I can't quite reach the shield bearer over here to provoke him. I guess I'll just hit him. Smack.
I was prepared for this. It's over. Victory is within reach.
Leave it to me!
I feel stronger already.
Nice, level up. There, now she shouldn't be targeted.
So, it falls to me.
I kinda can't help but wonder if I should get away. Actually, let's see. At least the shield bearer's not going to be able to reach him. Of course, he's not going to be able to cast a spell until I waste one of his turns.
I won't lose!
Oh!
Yes! It's open! Go!
So I didn't actually have to choose between attacking or hitting the gate. He just attacked on his own. Yeesh. Okay.
Don't let them escape! Capture the royal family! Kill any others who stand in your way!
Protect the prince!
No matter how many come, our blades will keep them at bay.
They've overrun the bridge already. Very well. We cut our way through.
Battle basics. Quietuses. Quietuses do not use up a turn and can be triggered instantaneously. A single quietus can be used only once in a given battle. Okay. What exactly is a quietus?
Time to take flight. Let me show you what I've learned.
I guess movement has to be done first. Otherwise, I would see if I could cast a spell on one of these dudes and then run away, but I don't think that's a thing that can happen. So I'll just move her forward. And not much else she can do. Oh! She can use a Firestone. It's not letting me use it. Why not? Is something wrong? I don't understand. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I'll end my turn then.
Oh, impossible!
Not this time.
Oh, impossible!
That's it?
I see a path to victory.
Let's see. I would buff Maxwell's strength, but I don't have the diamonds, or whatever you call those, to do so. TP injection? I'm guessing those diamonds are TP. Okie doke. May as well buff my tank dude.
I shan't hold back.
Alright, what you gonna do, Maxwell?
That
Nice.
went well. No! For the honor of House Walford.
Alright, no range for that. Okay, let me use that. I don't really get it.
That hit the mark.
Ow. Stop it. I guess I'll get beside him and attack. And then go back into cover.
My turn.
Man, I would like to be able to use this, but I probably shouldn't have put my spy there. I wonder if it hurts allies, actually. Doesn't look like it. So let's give it a shot.
I shirk from no danger.
The hunt is on.
Now, Roland, climb that ladder upon your horse. I wonder if I can actually shoot the dude up there. No. No, I cannot. I guess I'll just stand here. Oh, you can still move after you act. That's good to know.
Cool heads shall prevail.
Where are these dudes going? Pretty soon. Okay. Don't know if I want to put my healer in danger just to get the loot. But I guess I'm gonna.
Much appreciated.
I've been waiting for this. Come on!
So, it falls to me.
I guess I'm just gonna have to skip his turn. I can use this.
Yes, very.
Have another!
Oh, careless of me! I shan't hold back. Oh, impossible!
Dude, why is every hit they do with critical hit? What's up with that? When choosing an action, an icon will appear over any enemy units that are particularly susceptible to it. Really? I didn't notice that. Attacks from behind are guaranteed to score a critical hit. Ah, well, I guess that explains that. If an ally is positioned behind an enemy you strike with a physical attack, that ally will automatically follow up with an attack of their own. Okay,
There is no mercy on the battlefield. That seemed to
Have
work.
another!
I fight for peace.
That guy's not dead yet? Okay, so this hits an area. That's good to know.
Forward!
Die already, please.
I struck true.
And they're still electing not to move.
A new power.
Ooh, surmount. What's that? Move to an adjacent square with a height difference within 15 units. Oh, okay. I'll just hang on to her TP though. I don't really need to spend a whole TP on an extra space. Rude.
My turn.
Oh my god, he actually can climb the ladder with a horse? What is this? That's amazing. Oh, his horse just teleports.
Here I come.
I guess I'll just leave her there. Okay, swordsmen are coming now.
I shall protect you.
Stab him!
Just as I planned.
have my thanks.
I'll take you on!
And out of range to provoke. Dude's not weak to anything, so I'll just move him. Just plant him there. He'll be fine.
I see a path to victory.
I'll keep on then.
For the future of House Wolford.
Where was I?
That dude's already pretty much a dead man walking. So I'll go up here. And freeze this jerk. That did not deal as much damage as I was hoping.
Oh, careless of me.
Victory is within reach.
Watch me wake him up immediately.
Sounds
Yep.
right.
Forward!
Let's see, that'll delay his turn. It's a bit stronger than his normal attack, too.
To lead, I must grow.
Allow me. No!
Don't bully the healer. I'll stab you for that.
Be gone!
Get that loot.
Time to take flight. Goodbye! The winds of change are blowing.
Shadow stitching arrow. Oh, does that prevent them from moving? Kind of sounds that way. Oh good, more.
Death must wait.
That seemed like kind of a waste of TP.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Alright. We got Anna coming up next. Then the healer, then the tank. Okay, so these two are the ones that are moving. Don't need to worry about them.
Our victory is assured.
I will end this. Ha! Sound strike.
Allow me.
I was gonna hide with her, but any follow-up attack she does would get rid of her hiding. So I may as well just attack twice.
Let me heal your wounds.
Whose strength is currently higher? Got 24, 23. Okay. I'll cast Haste on... What's his name? Serenoa. That dude.
Much appreciated. You won't beat me!
Defeat is not an option.
Why does this show that shield bearer attacking Serenoa when I just provoked him? That doesn't sound right to me.
So, it falls to me.
My turn.
The hunt is on.
Shadow Stitching Arrow. Chance of immobilizing for 2 turns. Alright, well, assuming Provoke is going to work as it probably should, I want to see if I can immobilize this guy, because the other one should attack the shield bearer. Nice.
I fight for peace.
I fight for my friends.
I shall do my best.
I must hold firm. That went well.
From where shall we strike?
Just die already!
Time to work.
No follow-up? Okay, I'll do my own follow-up.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Haha.
I won't lose!
Time to take flight.
I wonder how much Fell Swoop actually deals. And it doesn't have any conditions, it's just damage to a nearby enemy. Is it really worth 2 TP? Doesn't seem all that strong. I think it might be better just to use her bow utility.
Oh, careless of me.
Cool heads shall prevail.
My apologies.
With clear eyes, I move forward.
Circle of Healing? Is that an AoE skill?
Gotcha.
Hey everybody! Have fun!
Look at me learning.
Now then, to work.
I can't reach him.
For the honor of House Walford!
I still breathe, I still fight.
Your orders?
My orders, I guess, just... she can't really do much. I guess she can surmount over here and finish off the shield bearer. Was that... Did that really need a leap? Well, I guess it does let her move upwards 50 units. 15 units.
This is the end.
You've left yourself open!
GG's! That was pretty good. The interface took a little bit getting used to, but I mean, that's just gonna be the case with any new tactical RPG. I'm guessing as the game goes on, you get more and more ways to build up TP, because it really kind of felt like the mages were sort of dead weight, since they needed to wait 2 turns to cast a spell.
The boat arrives. Come, with speed.
Might just be something that they limited for the purposes of the demo.
Prince Roland, will you leave your brother unavenged?
You!
Go! Leave this place. The Archduke will be content with your father's head.
Why you gotta provoke me, lady?
Never. Esfrost will answer for its crimes today.
Your Highness!
A shame. You might have lived a long life.
So long as I stand, you'll do him no harm.
Oh, are you about to sacrifice yourself? Is that why I couldn't control you before?
Sir Maxwell!
My prince, you are responsible for more than just your own life now. You are a leader, and must be the beacon others look to when the night is darkest. My friends of House Wolfort, I leave Prince Roland in your care.
Let me go!
Release him to me, and there may be mercy for you yet, Maxwell.
I don't think he's about to do that. He's about to die in a blaze of glory.
Must you do this? Very well.
Ha! Don't you know? Lances beat swords. Get out of here with that sword nonsense.
You were only toying with me at the tourney.
Only a fool shows what they can do when the stakes are so trifling.
I could not have said it better myself.
Oh! He's doing Spine Shatter Dive. Oh wow. Kind of wiped all those peons out.
How do you still stand?
You were this realm's fiercest warrior, Dawn Sphere. But today your sun sets, and a new age begins.
Uh-oh, she has shiny moves too. The power of darkness, apparently. And I guess he's dead now. Rip. Pour one out for your boy Maxwell. Hey, can I have his hat though? It looks like a pretty rad hat. Uh-oh, Bloodbean's dead. Probably. To be fair, we didn't see a body. We saw a lot of blood from that body. But it's... You don't see a body, you can never say for sure that they're dead, because that's how fiction works.
And so it was that the once proud kingdom of Glenbrook did fall. Aesfrost seized control of the Crown City, threatening to bring the surrounding domains under its iron yoke.
Domains? Is that supposed to be like domains?
Now the Archduke's army marches upon House Wolford's stronghold, where Prince Roland is being sheltered by his loyal friends and allies.
Why is it always the Red Nation that does this stuff? Every time. Okay, so we're still at the castle. What's going on?
Your most honorable siblings, Lord Thalas and Lady Erica, have arrived, my lord.
Thank you for the escort. You may go now.
Why is Federica the only one that doesn't have silver hair?
If there is anything else that you require, anything at all, you need but say the word.
In that case, I would have a bottle of the realm's finest wine and a serving of fresh fruit delivered to my quarters.
But of course, milady, I shall have the servants fetch it at once.
Ever eager to please, isn't he?
I believe the word you're looking for is sycophant. Congratulations on bringing Glenbrook to its knees, brother. It's a thing of beauty, what you've accomplished. I trust you're already seeing to that fuss outside the castle walls?
Of course.
The other domains are putting up little in the way of resistance. Lord Telior trembles in his seat within the stronghold, and Lord Fox was oblivious to what was happening until it was far too late.
How easily the three great houses of Glenbrook break under your iron boot, brother.
Wolford is the last to hold out, but Avlora will deal with them. Prince Roland.
You sure about that?
Before long.
I mean, sure, she did beat the spear guy in one-on-one combat. Also, what's the deal with Cordelia? Who's she?
Speaking of royalty, brother, I would have thought Cordelia would be dead or rotting in jail. Yet here she sits on the throne. She looks less a vanquished princess and more a queen.
That is precisely what I would have her be.
Whatever do you mean?
Once things have calmed, I shall assume guardianship over her and have her crowned.
So, a puppet.
A few days hence, Regna will be executed. I've already informed Patriat as much.
So the wise and benevolent King Regna meets his end at last.
You know, in the trailer, the Red Nation was the one that was supposed to stand for liberty. I'm not seeing a whole lot of that here. I just see
Father.
tyranny. Like, you know, the opposite of that thing. Whiteholm Castle Terrace.
Subjects of Glenbrook, I am Gustadolf, Archduke and High Commander of the Grand Duchy of Aesfrost.
Anyone ever told you that your name is stupid?
Hear my words. The sins King Regna has committed against us, and against you, his own people, are grievous indeed. 3 decades have passed since the end of the war. In the years since, we have all done what we can to rebuild our nations. The opening of the Grand Norzelian mines was to be the dawn of a new age. An age where our 3 nations would work together for the peace and prosperity of all. But King Regna spat in the face of that glorious dream.
Yes.
As our
King
engineers
Regna
worked
did.
tirelessly to put success within reach, your King Regna schemed in the shadows to seize control of the mine for his own profit. And when Dragan Esfrost, my dear cousin, and the man tasked with overseeing the mine's operations, became aware of this plot, King Regna had him assassinated in cold blood. In doing so, he betrayed not only my own nation and the holy state of Hyzant, but you as well. The very people who were to share in the wealth the mine would bring.
And they all buy it. Bunch of idiots.
And so we were left with no choice but to march on Whiteholm Castle and put an end to Regna's treachery by force. Our actions were born of a righteous duty to avenge Dragan's murder and this odious betrayal of this historic accord between our nations. What say you, King Regna? Do you deny these charges against you?
Yes.
I do not.
Why would you say that?
But I beg of you, spare my children.
Subjects of Glenbrook, your traitor king admits his guilt before you.
I mean, why not just... I guess the idea that him telling the truth could mean dire consequences for his other family. I was about to say, you're about to be executed, may as well tell the truth. But I guess I can sort of understand his mindset if that's the case.
His death. Off with his head.
Roland. Cordelia. The future of our kingdom is in your hands now.
Oh, come on! I want to see the head roll. Game pussing out on me. Rip. Wonder how much more is left in the demo. Can't imagine it's too much.
Just days after the fall of the Crown City, King Regna of Glenbrook is beheaded before his subjects. The death of this kind and benevolent monarch plunges the realm into confusion and chaos. With the king perishes an all too short-lived era of peace, and in its place, one of bloodshed and turmoil.
Okay, we got a few side stories here. What's going on at Lord Silvio's place? Whoever that may be. Kingdom of Glenbrook. Something.
Whatever is House Tellior to do.
Tellior domain.
With King Regna gone, we must find a way to preserve ourselves. Landroy, that proud fool, will no doubt fight to the bitter end. But House Fawkes alone is no match for the Grand Duchy.
Well, you're right about that.
To fight at their side.
I looked in on him earlier.
They say Prince Roland is in Wolfort's charge. If this is true, there's a good chance they will join the fray. Or will they? The Wolforts may choose to ransom the prince to Esfrost, in return for amnesty for their own domain. If it comes to that, Esfrost will either kill the prince and princess, or use them as their pawns, and Glenbrook will fall. Bending the knee to Esfrost may be our only hope if we are to live to see tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't really like the idea of, I don't know, capitulating to an invading army that lied in order to assassinate your king. Call me old-fashioned. Citadel of the Sands. Over in Hyzant.
Minister Sorcelet.
That's... What the hell is that guy? He looks like he has a penis for a head.
What is it this time, Booker?
We've just received word that Esfrost has launched a surprise invasion of Glenbrook. Whiteholm burns as we speak.
What's this?
The Crown City has fallen. King Regna was beheaded, and it is said Crown Prince Franny also perished in the fray. Prince Roland has fled to the domain of House Wolffort, with the Grand Duchy's army in close pursuit.
Goddess forbid. What could the Archduke be plotting? And what did the others think of the matter? At any rate, I must speak with His Holiness at once.
Minister, if I may assuage you, I propose that perhaps this situation may yet play to House N's benefit.
Our benefit, you say? Indeed. Indeed. You may have the right of it.
Isn't this supposed to be the moral kingdom? This kind of seems like corrupt church doings.
My dear Booker, whatever would House N do?
Or was Aesfrost supposed to be? No. I think it was this that was moral. Glenbrook utilitarian. And Liberty Aesfrost, although Aesfrost certainly is not that.
Faithful servant Sorcelet would humbly beg an audience.
At once, Master.
Okay, so now we got some church dude plotting. Good. Falk's Domain outskirts.
Your Grace, House Fawkes has failed you. I have failed you. High House, damn it all! When you needed us most, we were not there to answer the call.
Oh, I recognize this map. I saw in the trailer there was like a battle at this place.
How did we not see what they were plotting? How did we not know to go to your aid? But no, cursing our fate will not bring you back to us. We must focus our efforts on the one who might yet save Glenbrook from downfall. We must protect Prince Roland with our lives.
I like Landroy. Landroy seems like a pretty cool guy. Okay, now we're on to Wolffort Town.
Lord Serenoa!
Hawk's Roost Gates.
Thank the heavens that you're safe.
It is good to be home.
Castle Wolffort is the most impregnable stronghold in all the kingdom. You will be safe here, Your Highness.
Thank you. I can only hope Father and Sir Maxwell are safe as well.
Benedict, there is news.
What's the matter, Benedict? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
Your Highness, my lord, pray try to remain calm.
Well, that's only going to be followed by news that's almost impossible to stay calm when you hear.
Was beheaded at the Crown City not bells ago.
Father. No. Say it is not so.
Roland.
I can only imagine what you're feeling now, Your Highness. But I fear we have not the luxury of grieving. As the last living heir to the throne, there is no doubt that the Archduke will target you next.
I mean, Cordelia's still a thing.
Indeed. We must move quickly. I would seek Father's counsel.
About Lord Simone.
Huh?
Simone?
Has something befallen Father?
Can't you just say Simon like everybody else? Jeez.
Father!
Is he dying?
Lord Simone.
I don't think they need
What
that
is the
right now.
meaning of this?
He collapsed when he heard the news from the Crown City. Has not opened his eyes since.
You must be mad. The man was stronger than an ox.
We cannot afford to lose Lord Simone. Not now, of all times.
Father! Be strong, Father. This realm still needs you. I still need you. Father. Father.
My God.
Serenoa.
Serenoa is like the one voice performance I just cannot get over. It's so flat. Holy butts.
Our healers are doing everything they can, but none can say.
Very well.
Do not give up hope, Serenoa. The malady will not take your father easily.
Forgive me, Roland. I can only imagine what you feel now.
I must stay strong. I cannot allow Father's death to be in vain. You too must remain composed. For Lord Simone. And for those who now look to you for guidance in his stead.
I will try.
Pardon me, my lord.
What
I come
now?
bearing a message.
Better not be more bad news.
The scout we had sent in search of Sir Maxwell returned with this.
Is it his mask? Yes.
Sir Maxwell's mask.
Reports have it that it was found near Whiteholm Bridge.
Blood. No. It cannot be.
This mask was all that was found, you say?
Did you get his hat? That was a very nice hat. I would like to have it.
The bridge was all but overflowing with the bodies of the fallen. It was not possible to ascertain all of their identities. And the swift course of the river thwarted any efforts to search further.
I see.
Imagine
Thank you
taking
for
the
the
mask,
report.
but not the
Get
hat.
some rest. You have earned it.
Yes, my lord.
Sir Maxwell. You too abandon me now?
Ah.
Ah. Oh my God.
At Gustadolf's command, Esfrost musters its forces at Whiteholm Castle and commences a march on the Wolfort domain. Their aim, to seize in their clutches Prince Roland, the unwilling heir to Glenbrook's throne.
I don't know if that's a fair description. I don't know if I would call him unwilling. It's just more like, hey, my entire family was just killed. I would rather my dad be king, but now he is dead.
My lord, the Esfrosti army advances on us as we speak. A missive has arrived from Lord Gustadolf. It says they will stand down on the condition that we surrender Prince Roland to them at once.
Fuck them.
With not much time before they're on our doorstep, my lord.
Word has it that General Avlora herself heads the vanguard.
Gustadolf's not taking any chances. The scheming bastard.
Summon the War Council at once. We must take swift action.
I mean, I know that the whole council thing, at least in the trailer, was like, oh, do we hand Prince Roland over or not? Like, I don't know.
You cannot be serious about this.
It seems like a pretty clear-cut decision to me.
It's all right, Frederica.
Please continue, Benedict.
Thank you. Once more, I would ask you plainly. Do we or don't we relinquish Prince Roland to Esfrost?
No. No, we do not.
We refuse. We owe Sir Maxwell that much.
Precisely. Sir Maxwell entrusted us with keeping His Highness safe, and we accepted. There's no place in
I mean, even apart from that, this whole thing is Esfrost's fault.
And yet, if the Archduke were to march on us with an army,
Roland didn't do anything.
Or, heaven forbid, a greater one.
The natural fortifications of this land would work against us. Our shelter would become our jail.
So you propose that we just abandon him? That we sacrifice his life for our own protection?
Better my life than any of yours. This is my battle. I would not see the blood of my friends spilt in my name.
See, Your Highness, that's where you're wrong. House Wolfort's the sword and shield of the crown. You go to battle, we go with you. So it's always been.
Enough! I will leave before I see your domain ravaged by fighting. It is the only way. Surely you see this, yes?
No. Shut up. I'm trying to save you.
I believe sacrificing any of us is the correct path.
My lord, we cannot allow war to come to the Wolfort domain. Your highest priority must be to your loyal subjects.
Yes, but Serenoa himself is also a loyal subject of the kingdom. I mean, I already have a decision. Are you not going to let me make it just yet?
You would have me render a decision here and now?
As the master of this domain, you and no other must decide how we proceed.
Fuck Esfrost. That's how.
I understand that, Benedict. Prepare the scales of conviction. I would hear everyone's thoughts on the matter.
I mean, I know it's just for a gameplay thing, but the whole resorting to scales to decide, to choose which decision to take is just kind of weird, kind of silly. But it's the whole mechanic that they have
give the signal when it is time
with the
to
whole
cast
invisible
vote.
conviction stat that you build up
Weigh
through
the
your
matter
choices.
Carefully till then.
Very well, my lord. To our own councils we go.
Their hearts are divided, but a compelling argument may yet change some minds. To sway them, I will need more information. Perhaps I should ask around town. Going out, my lord? Yes, I would hear the wisdom of my people. That doesn't sound like a noble. What is this? Understood, my lord. When your work is done, pray speak to me once more. I will do just that, thank you. Let me investigate some more, then return when I have knowledge that might sway minds. The path of the story will be determined by the consensus of your party as played out through voting scenes. Each of your allies will cast their vote according to his or her own convictions. As the player, you may cast a single vote, but you will be bound to the decision of the majority. Furthermore, before voting commences, you may speak to others to persuade them to change their mind. Whether or not your attempt at persuasion succeeded, however, will not be known for sure until the votes are cast. The key to successful persuasion is gathering the necessary information beforehand. Head into town and see what knowledge you may glean from the people. Okie doke. Wait, Eredor is undecided? Hand over Prince Roland and avoid conflict. We got Anna, Benedict, the healer, surprisingly, as well as Prince Roland himself. But yeah, I'm with Frederica and Huette. I would rather us all die than capitulate to this, piece of shit duchy. Don't mind me, just barging in. Firestone, cool. Does nobody live here? Anybody here at all? No? Okay. The Salt-Iron War had just broken out in earnest when Aesfrost's foundries began producing arms and armor forged of iron, the likes of which we'd never seen. 'Twas a great boon to an already impressive army. Ere long, they brought destruction to every corner of the realm. As I hear it, the Aesfrosti army remains the most mighty on the continent. I pray that we are not about to relive that bloody age. Okay. Doesn't have anything else to say. Oh, I saw a sparkle. Oh yeah, I'm totally going out to the town to hear the wisdom of the people, and definitely not to just yoink their money from them. Long have I heard rumors of secret traps that dot the Wolfort domain. If the tales are to be believed, they serve to make quick work of any intruders. Though I can't help but wonder, why keep such a valuable weapon so secret? Secret traps. It's hard to say what this might mean for us. They might well be employed to give us an advantage in battle, but at what cost to our own? You learned all you could. Okay. Has the Crown City truly fallen? What madness is this? I don't know, we are reaching madness levels, the likes of which even Sparta can't believe. Okie doke. They don't have anything to add. What about you, sir? Is it true? Has Aesfrost attacked the Crown City? How could the High Houses have let this happen? I mean, from what I could tell, it was pretty sudden. I shudder to think there's a bounty on Prince Roland's head. The boy's always been a friend to the people. It says he's to be delivered alive. I'd wager they have no plans of executing him. At least, not anytime soon. I should let the others know of this. I mean, what makes you think they're going to keep him alive, though? I don't really see how he gleaned that information from that little tidbit from the town person. It's like, yeah, he has a bounty on his head. That could very easily mean that he's going to be executed when he gets caught. I'd a mind to make my way to the capital, but the high road's blocked. What's the meaning of this, anyway? I've got mouths to feed at home. I don't know. Oh, sparkly. Any shinies? Not seeing any. Okay. Sure. There's a commotion in the capital, to be sure, but it'll all be over soon. The Dawn Spear will see to that. Aye, the sun won't set on Glenbrook till Sir Maxwell falls. As if that would ever happen. Yeah, about that. Sir Maxwell laid down his life so that we might see another day. We must do all in our power to see that his noble sacrifice was not in vain. Oops. What's up here? And this on the eve of a new age of harmony. What could the Archduke be thinking? Excellent question. Any shinies? No shinies. Is that everyone? I think I've been everywhere. Where's the door for the houses that don't have doors? Why do they exist? Dead end. I guess that's all I can gather for now. That's all I see anyway. Alright, let's see if I can convince the people that want to just sacrifice the entire royal family for their own desire to stay alive. I trust that you will make a reasoned decision, my lord. Perhaps the battle's not as hopeless as one might think. The town's secret weapon.
Interesting indeed.
I must confess, I was not aware you knew of our domain's last resort. Forgive me. Nothing I have said here has shaken my convictions. Have you any more to say in your favor? I mean, this is just straight up not the case when it comes to the social hierarchy. The duty is to the kingdom above all else. And your part in that is your house and your people, yes. But you also serve the royal family. Kind of want to say 1. I don't know if 3 is going to really get me anything.
However,
acting merely on wishful thinking will open you to criticism, and rightly so. Though this presumes that I have correctly deduced that you agree with His Highness's thinking.
I am decided.
At any rate, I thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. I shall take them to heart. Okie doke. Okay. So I could go either way with him. Even Benedict's at a loss this time, and I've never known the man to lack for ideas. Core. Really? You're saying core? I'm imagining him saying it with a North American accent, too, and it's awful. Where does that leave us? Wait, I I talk to everybody. What?
You're onto something.
You'll not get any peace thinking like that. There's nothing any of us could have done. Besides, it's all the more reason to protect the prince. I know how you feel, I do.
Consider this.
Sword to my throat, I reckon we're outmanned, at least as it stands now. Do you truly believe we can come out of this on top? Aye, you speak the truth. A truth I'd stake House Wolfort's reputation upon. But how many of our own must see their lives snuffed out? It breaks a man's heart, I tell you. Men will die, and our home may never be the same. Still, we can only do the best we can. What of keeping the people from harm? Have you given any thought about that? You're not alone in that measure, lad. I'm right there with you.
Tough spot we're in.
I'm no closer to an answer, but at least I know where your head and heart lie. Yay! Something happened. This is going to be a tough cookie. Surrendering Roland is the only way to protect the domain. Surely you see that. I missed information again. Rip.
In that case...
Every demand. So you foresee this being the first of many. I agree that it is not ideal to submit in this instance, but what other options have we?
However...
As in all things, logic must guide our judgment. Rude. Okay, well, she's completely unswayed. Well, I thought she was, but now she's undecided. Only a fool would pick a fight he cannot win. I do not take you for a fool. They will see us as naught but pawns if we surrender Roland. All the more reason to prepare for battle now, while they are otherwise occupied. We may find their weakness yet.
Well...
I too wish we did not have to surrender Prince Roland, mind you. We must be thorough in times like these. Pray continue, I would hear your thoughts in more detail. A hidden device that may give us the upper hand? I too have heard the rumors, and yet... I see where your heart lies, my lord. Let us hope it leads us well. I guess they all just go over to undecided. The game did say that you're not going to know how they're going to vote until the vote actually happens. I will not allow my life to be weighed against those of the people.
Certainly.
Father taught that whoever rules is righteous, by virtue of their station alone. But now, though I weigh your words more heavily than most, I know not what is right.
However...
I appreciate you speaking your mind, but I have my own thoughts on the matter. After all, is it not best that I handle that which is easily settled by my word alone?
I wonder...
You mean to say such a thing is available to us? Such a tactic would demand a sacrifice of your people. And against their will, no doubt. I mean, isn't there a way to protect the people? And also prepare for that trap? I can no longer discern what is right and wrong. I place my fate in your hands. Well, okay. Since I don't want to hand him over, I'm not going to bother with Frederica or Huet. So let's have a look. See what happens.
It is time to cast our votes.
I hereby open this matter to a vote. The question before us: do we surrender Prince Roland in accordance with Aesfrost's demands, or do we fight for his freedom? On this matter, I say...
Approach the scales of conviction.
I bid you approach the scales of conviction.
I believe in you.
Hey, he's not voting for his death. Let's go.
My lord.
Okay, that's 2 and 1.
So,
I think that's 4 and 1.
I agree.
5 and 1. 6 and 1.
You won me over.
Alright. Looks like Benedict is the odd one out here.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
I mean, can't we just count votes? There's only like 8 people here. Think you might be a little bit outnumbered there, Benedict.
The way forward is decided.
We surrender Prince Roland to no one. The Aesfrati shall get our blades between their ribs and thank us for the honor. Awesome. Can we get Landroy too while we're at it?
The judgment is made.
The scales tip, and our path is chosen. We must steel ourselves for the battle that lies ahead.
Very well. Then I will do all in my power to see that it proves the right one. I fight with you, my friend.
Prepare the defenses. We will hold our own against the army of Aesfrost.
And this demo is going on for quite a while. I saw Mr. Happy's video on it from on YouTube, and it was only like an hour and 10 minutes long. And I've been going for 2 hours.
House Wolfort resolved to shelter Prince Roland. Not long after, they find themselves besieged by an elite subset of Aesfrost's forces.
This is
Commanding
fine.
the Duchy's armies is none other than General of Laura, the deadly warrior who claimed the lives of Prince Franny and Sir Maxwell with her own hands.
I'm sure this is going to turn out well for us, right?
A raven's arrived from House Wolfert.
Concerning Prince Roland, no doubt? So they refused to relinquish him to us. How intriguing. They will remain loyal to the royal family even if it means their demise. Very well. Send a raven to General of Laura. Tell her to make for the Wolfort domain at once, and that she is to return with the prince, or not at all.
Yes, Your Grace.
I guess he just expected us to be a bunch of cowards. Okay, there's other side stuff going on. Hey Landroy, want to come help us out a bit? You seem like a good chap.
You are aware that Prince Roland fled to the Wolford domain after the Crown City fell. Esfrost demanded that His Highness be relinquished to their custody immediately. We have just received word that Wolford refused. A most admirable display of loyalty to Glenbrook's royal family if ever I have seen one. And they are not the only ones who shall remain true. In the name of King Regna, House Fox too will take up arms against those Esfrosty bastards!
Damn right.
For we are one of the 3 high houses of Glenbrook. We will live up to that name and fight for our homeland with our lives! Aye! May your shields be strong and your swords strike true, my countrymen. For Glenbrook!
That's what I like to see. Looks like we're not going to be alone in this. Is it going to be like a Helm's Deep type thing? Where they show up at their like 11th hour to turn the tide of battle. Hopefully with an army of living trees. Kellior Plaza. What's going on here?
Ah, Lord Tellior. There you are.
Yes. What is it?
Tidings from Whiteholm, my lord. House Wolford shelters Prince Roland within their domain and refuses to acquiesce to Esfrost's demands.
What's this? Those fools would stand in defiance against the duchy.
Yes.
The Archduke's forces move against the Wolfords as we speak. They intend to capture Prince Roland and bring down House Wolford in one fell swoop.
House Wolford is strong, but not strong enough for a full-on attack from the duchy's forces. And yet, there is always the chance, however slim, that they will prevail. Best wait and see how the situation unfolds.
Oh, how lovely. Let's side with winner and do nothing.
Yes, there is no need to rush into anything. We must consider carefully what will afford us the best chance of survival. Continue to keep your eye on the other domains. I must know of any movement among the Wolfords and the Fox, no matter how inconsequential.
Yes, my lord.
Well, the Falks are marching to our assistance. So I can tell you that right now. Back in Whiteholm Castle. What is this going to be? Gustadolf again? No, the other two.
So they would rather die than bend the knee? Wolfort truly
Hell
is
yes.
a house of fools. At least Avlora will have the chance to prove herself on the battlefield.
That's why we took her in, no? She'll prove useful yet.
For her own sake, I would hope so.
Oh, is the duchy holding something over her?
Down the highest of the 3 high houses. What do you suppose will become of the other 2?
I should think the answer obvious, dear sister. The cowardly Telliors will be at our beck and call. The Falks, too stubbornly loyal for their own good, will not.
Yeah, that's about right.
House Falks presides over bountiful lands. Now, do you suppose Brother will pass up the chance to claim such a tantalizing prize?
Indeed not, brother dear.
as for this last side story, it has a person silhouette and question marks, so I'm guessing that's a possible new character, depending on the choices I make.
Thank you for agreeing to see me. My name is Julio.
So, you're looking to pledge your service to us, eh? They tell me you're from the Crown City. Something happened to drive you our way?
I'm afraid so.
Go on. Shortly before Aesfrost's attack on the Whiteholm Castle.
Why have you brought me all the way to this place? Whatever it is you wish to speak about, I should hope it is important. I am a busy man.
It is indeed. It concerns the Grand Norzelian mining venture. Pardon me if I'm being presumptuous, but I came across a most curious thing when I was reviewing the particulars of the arrangement the other day. There were documents that I did not recall having seen before. Specifically, documents pertaining to the compensation of the workers contracted to transport the iron out of the mine.
Is that so?
Following the paper trail, I could not help but notice that a not insignificant amount of coin had made its way through paths most circuitous and befuddling into your hands. Something easily overlooked at a glance, but my eyes are sharper than most. No doubt you have a logical explanation for this?
I haven't need to explain it. Even if I were guilty of whatever it is you have the gall to accuse me of, there is naught you can do about it. All that I have done with Prince Franny's full backing.
You would claim that His Highness is complicit in this?
The high and mighty are always scratching each other's backs. Everyone knows that. Everyone, it would seem, but you.
Not sure how much I believe this claim he's making.
To think the Crown Prince would be party to such corruption. Has our kingdom truly sunk so low?
It would fall on your head should word of this get out. Considering the nature of the crime, I shudder to think of the punishment. Luckily for you,
the crime of exposing corruption.
Between us, so
how dare you?
Go running your mouth. Why, I'll even toss in some coin to sweeten the deal. A fair enough bargain, wouldn't you say?
Coin? I spit on your coin. I will not remain silent. I cannot. I will root out the rot of corruption that plagues our realm, no matter what it may cost me.
You stubborn, self-righteous fool. I'd hoped to settle this as reasonable adults, but it would seem that...
Sound the alarm! The kingdom is under attack! Aesfrost strikes!
Well, that's a lucky timing.
What's this?
Saved by the bell.
Needless to say, the circumstances make my return to the Crown City impossible. Pray allow me to be of service here.
Ah, now it's coming back to me. You were Sir Maxwell's second-in-command during the tourney, weren't you? You didn't stand out much, but you held your own well enough. Aye, I reckon we can find use for him yet.
Very well then. Be welcome among us. Eridor, see that our new friend gets settled in.
Thank you, my lord. You have my word that I will serve you well.
Cool. I mean, this guy seems pretty good. I mean, by pretty good, I mean from a philosophical standpoint. It's like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. I'm gonna go public about this. Inspired by your deeply held convictions, Julio, not Julio, has joined your cause. His skills will serve you well in battle, granting your allies additional TP and allowing them to unleash their skills with greater ease. That sounds great. Yes, please. Especially the mages struggle with that. Alright, back to Hawksroost, see what's going down. Is that a raven? They're people-sized birds in this game? I'm guessing that's what Huette rides.
Avlora? Are you certain?
Yes. We are surrounded by the Archduke's main forces, led by General Avlora herself.
She killed my brother. And my master. I must avenge them. Even if it means my life.
Do try not to die, though.
Your Highness, your life is far too important to so blithely throw away.
I know that, and yet...
Facing the Esfrosti forces head-on is a fool's errand. They will drive us back with ease. Let us consider another strategy. As a matter of fact, there is more to this town than meets the eye. It is a secret which, under normal circumstances, would be divulged to a new lord only after their succession is made official. But desperate times. I sent a man just now to make preparations. Come with me. We haven't much time.
Wonder if the demo is going to go on long enough to actually do this battle, because taking out vastly superior forces using traps to just take down groups of them at a time sounds pretty cool and like a lot of fun. What's the magnifying glass mean?
I would hear more of your plan, Master Benedict. They say Castle Wolfort was built into a mountainside. Am I to believe there are yet more secrets concealed in its construction?
Just so. As it happens, a contrivance of sorts was installed in the town to be used only in cases of dire emergency.
What manner of contrivance? I've never heard such a thing.
You wouldn't have. The information is divulged only to the Lord of the House and his closest advisors. It is a secret, one that embodies this town's true worth.
I see. Then what, pray tell, is this town's true worth?
The towering walls that rise up in all directions, the network of sloped waterways. This town appears as any other to my eye, but perhaps my gaze is untrained.
It is the canals we will use. We shall pour flaming oil into them from above and burn our enemy out.
No. I don't think that other soldier went into that much detail.
Have you gone mad?
Do you see those hawk sculptures located throughout the town?
I do. They are the means by which the weapon may be activated, I presume.
Indeed. Tearing them down will trigger a barrier to rise around the canals. After that, no one will be able to get in or out until the blaze subsides.
You would burn people's homes. No, the very town itself, along with our foes. But just think of the lives that may be sacrificed.
They keep talking about it's gonna take sacrificing townspeople's lives, and I'm just like, Can't we evacuate the townspeople into the castle before we do this? Is that not a thing that we can do?
This is the path we have chosen. There's little choice left to us if we wish to survive. We must win, whatever the cost. Prepare for battle.
I would like to point out, I did not sign up for this. We are not taking all the precautions that we could. Yes, I knew it was going to cause damage to the town. Fair enough. But we could still evacuate the townspeople. Are we just not going to do that? I don't know. But anyway, we must make ready for the Duchy's attack. That device should be somewhere in town, but where? I lived through the Salt Iron War, you know. Back then, the Wolforts were little more than a humble clan what made their home in the mountains. Skilled swordsmen that they were men of peace. Doubt they ever would have gotten involved in the war had Hyzant not threatened to cut off their salt supply. With your father sick abed, and the fate of this land rests upon your shoulders, my lord, I am confident you will lead us wisely in defense of our domain, as befitting one of Glenbrook's high houses. I cannot believe we are to burn the town and our enemy both. I understand that we must prevail at all costs, yet still... I'm on the record saying that we could evacuate people so they don't have to die. Yeah, their houses may burn, but we can rebuild if necessary. Which sounds like it's going to be pretty damn necessary. I understand what my life means to our kingdom. I must survive the battle at all costs. And yet, Father, Franny, Cordelia, Sir Maxwell. She killed them all, Serenoa. I must avenge them with my own hand. Cordelia's still alive, though. Be aware of your surroundings. Never fight alone when you can fight together. Sir Maxwell often gave us such counsel, yes. Thank you, Serenoa. We will defeat Avlora, together. I owe my life to you all, and I will not part with it that easily. The Duchy shall not find us easy prey. To think that we now wage a new war against Aesfrost. I pray for victory, my lord. Oh, shiny. I already talked to you. According to Benedict, the hawk sculptures can be positioned here as well. Be positioned. But where are those pedestals hiding? Mayhap I should ask around. I must escort my children to safety in the castle. Oh, so we are evacuating them. I mean, yeah, the property damage is gonna suck, but if we evacuate the... Why is Benedict making such a big deal out of, like, sacrificing townspeople when we're not doing that? Will we lose our home? Perhaps, but you can live out of the castle while we rebuild. How about that? My friends and I were supposed to go play, but Mama says I have to go to the castle where it's safe. Did you perchance note anything out of the ordinary when you set up your stall? Aye, there was this pedestal or something. Nothing on it, so I didn't think much of it, but... Forgive me, my good man, but we must ask you to move your stall to secure the defenses. Aye, if it needs to be so. Truth be told, I'm glad to find out now, before I've established my business. My thanks. Be sure to take refuge before the fighting begins. Good. Review the use of the hawk statuettes. Ah, God, it's bright. Hit it and it breaks, and a certain area goes up in flames. Got it. I wonder if Father and the King envisioned a day like this when they fashioned this dreadful device. The townsfolk had been led to refuge within the castle. Surprisingly, they went without incident, though no doubt it cannot be easy knowing they will lose their homes. Well, none of this is going to be easy for anybody, to be perfectly fair. I was just about to set off for the Crown City when they blockaded the highway. I know not what lies in store for us, but it won't be good for business, I can tell you that. Yeah, you might want to get to the castle. Have you heard the news about Lord Silvio of House Tellior? Yeah, he's a little bitch. That's what I heard. When Aesfrost attacked, he didn't muster a single soldier in defense. Just holed up in his own domain like the cowardly gobshite he is. Ain't got a loyal bone in his body, that one. What a sorry excuse for a lord of the high houses. Damn right. I can't believe we're to use such a terrible device. Yeah, I don't like it either, but gotta do what you gotta do. Handing over the prince is not an option, in my opinion. You never need something more than you do during wartime. I only hope our stores will last. It makes me sick to think of Hyzan growing fat off the corpses of Glenbrook and Aesfrost. Ooh, shiny. Guess I should recheck the houses before I burn them all down. Sounds like it looks like they have more items in them. Maybe. What's this? Looks like a sword hilt. Nothing in here. Not seeing a shiny. Already went in there. I believe there was a pedestal beneath this stall. Ah, so it was hidden beneath. Let's clear this out of the way. Hell yeah. There. Now we ought to be able to trigger the device. Oh, they moved all the stalls. Fair enough. We use that method at the risk of our own lives and those of your people. Still, this is the choice you would make. It will take many years to rebuild the town. Innocent people will suffer. I know you have only the well-being of your people at heart. I apologize for speaking out of place. This realm is nothing without her people. Your care for them will see them through this. We must prevail, and rest assured that I will see that we do. For Prince Roland's sake and for our own. Damn right. Okay, got it. The Duchy attacks us? And here I thought our alliance was stronger than ever. Yeah, unfortunately there's an asshole on the throne, so that's no longer seems to be the case. Guess there's nothing here. Okay, is that all the preparations I can make? Yeah, nobody seems to be saying anything new. Okay, I guess that's everything. Let's see. Let's check the encampment. I did get some points from the previous battle. Maybe I can get new skills or some shit. Purchase with kudos. That's what they decided to call that currency? Apparently. Being able to hit weaknesses is nice. And I'm not sure, but I know from the trailer that you can use ice spells on fire to create water puddles that you can then electrocute with lightning spells. But I don't know if that works with items too. But I'm buying them just in case it does. I'm guessing this is going to be the last battle of the demo, so I'm gonna go all out with my spending. Okay, so I guess we get side quests from the Barkeep. Not available here, but... Alright, let's do this.
How fare you, Benedict?
My preparations are complete. I trust you're ready as well, my lord?
As ready as I shall ever be.
We have given ourselves every advantage that we can, my lord.
Indeed we have. I only hope that it is enough.
My lord, the Esfrosti forces are on the move.
And so it begins.
Our foe advances. Take up your positions, everyone, and be ready for the signal. Shall we, my lord?
Yes. It is time.
Okay, but first... Nameless Village? Come on, man, why doesn't your village have a name? You're just being lazy at this point.
The sun's a harsh mistress, ain't she? If she sticks around much longer, my fields are apt to wither from the attention. I'd give my firstborn for a drop of rain.
I don't know if your firstborn would appreciate that.
Aye, and it ain't just the crops what are worse for wear. I'd cry over a lot, but naught but dust would pour from my eyes.
Who's that?
How pitiless, the caprices of nature. What grudge do the heavens bear to make the poor souls who tend the land suffer so? I would be remiss to let such suffering continue. If fate will show you no mercy, then I shall. You begged for even a single drop of rain. I shall give you more. Behold as I flood this desiccated land with nourishment.
I don't know, flood also sounds bad.
Huh? What's that the lady said? I believe she means to pull rain from a cloudless sky.
Ha! I'd have more luck getting milk from a bowl.
Well, I guess that depends on what kind of milk you're trying to
We're
get.
in sore need of a miracle.
Wait a minute, how did we get here?
A pleasure as always to see you, my lord. You've come just in time. This lass is about to put on a show.
You know, we're just casually walking all the way to the Falk's territory while there's supposed to be an army at our doorstep.
I am called Izana. Allow me to banish the sun's cruel rays from your domain, that your people may see a measure of succor.
Banish the sun? I wasn't aware it was in the habit of taking orders.
Rain dance? Yep, actually though. Huh. If that kind of power exists in this world,
Will slap my ass
why
like
is...
I was just born.
Oh my.
Rain. Honest to goodness, rain.
Why is drought a problem?
How did... I've never witnessed a miracle like this.
Yes, do tell.
Izana, was it? On behalf of my people, allow me to express to you my deepest gratitude.
There is no need for such formalities. I seek only to alleviate the suffering of the downtrodden in any way I can. If it is not too bold of me to ask, do you have need of a humble shaman within your ranks?
Depends on what the shaman can do, I guess.
To serve you, my lord. Tales of House Wolfort's magnanimity have reached even my remote village.
We would welcome you with open arms, and the honor would be entirely ours. Doubtless we will have occasion to call upon your talents sooner rather than later.
Cool. I wonder what else she can do other than summon rain. Inspired by your deeply held convictions, Izana has joined your cause. Her skills will serve you well in battle, as her prayers can alter the weather itself, as well as summon lightning that will travel through water. Okay. So now we have someone that can use lightning on water puddles we use once we put out fire with ice spells. Okay, now we can take advantage of that mechanic. Sounds good to me. Demo does seem pretty long, you're right. I'm actually really surprised. I was saying earlier that I didn't actually watch it, but I saw Mr. Happy's playthrough of it, and it was only 1 hour and 10 minutes long. So I guess either he just blitzed the story parts, or I don't know, maybe he didn't provide as much commentary or voice acting that I have. That's all I can think of.
For my family and for my master. Prepare to die.
Empty threats from a pampered prince. You will see what true might is.
Hey, that prince is pretty useful, actually.
All's
He has
in
a
place, my
horse.
lord. Ready when you are.
Very good. Now, to lure them where we want them and initiate the device. You are aware of what will happen next, yes?
Yes. And I am
You
prepared
might have
to
skipped
make
the
the
story.
sacrifice.
Maybe he did, actually.
With me, everyone.
Maybe I should have.
All
But it's not like I have a whole lot of context for what's going on right now.
no survivors.
So, all in all, it's probably not that much in the way of spoilers in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I started the stream today, like, oh, okay, it's gonna take me like an hour and a half or so. That'll give me some decent amount of time to to play Star Ocean? Not so much, it turns out. Battle features, coordinated attacks. Try it yourself. Use Corentin's ice magic to freeze enemies in place. Have Huette trigger a trap from a safe distance with her arrows. Okie doke. Decimate the enemy forces, and you lose if everybody dies. Fair enough. Yeah, right? I mean, this is only, like, taking place in Chapter 6, so I guess it's a much bigger game. They just wanted, for the demo purposes, they wanted to have a small part of the story that has enough of a hook to make you interested in what's going on. Unit placements. Okay, so we got all these guys. What about those two people that... Oh, he's one of the people that joined me. No, he's not. That's Corentin. Where's Julio and Ivana? Oh, I see. Okay. You can only have 9 units deployed. I guess that makes sense. Blessing of Lightning. Raise your lightning resistance while lowering your wind resistance. Okay. Summon a rainstorm. Fires will be extinguished and terrain types will be inundated with water. That sounds like it might be a good thing to do after I've exhausted, you know, all the fires that I can set. It probably wouldn't be good for me if I did it too early. What about you, buddy? Moment of Truth. Grant 1 TP to an ally and raise their strength and magic attack for 3 turns. For a single TP? Holy crap, that sounds really nice. Deal physical damage to an enemy and decrease its TP by 1. Gain 1 TP when you defeat an enemy. And for 3 TP, he can give 2 TP to another ally. I also like the sound of this guy. You like her outfit in the sprite form? Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Very shamanesque. I like her portrait for completely innocent reasons. Who would I want to get rid of? Absolutely. I think top of the list for me for who not to include would probably be Anna, even though she does have useful abilities. And maybe Corentin. You can use ice magic on fires to create a water puddle that also puts out the fire, but I mean, the shaman can summon rain and use lightning to take advantage of water puzzles. So I don't know if it'd be a good idea to bring both of them along, since I may more effectively be able to take advantage of the puddle thing using both of them. But again, I only have 9 slots and I want not 9 slots. She's definitely coming along. It's the worst part about games like this. Yeah, you're not wrong. I was just kind of hoping my army would continue to grow. I didn't know there was going to be a limit. It's not surprising, but I'm not exactly happy about it either. Okay, what about Benedict? He can raise defense. He can raise defenses and offenses. Raise the potency and accuracy of follow-up attacks. Chance to deal a counterattack when attacked by adjacent enemy. Oh, that's nice. And Roland, at least as far as the first battle goes, he was just really useful. He has a lot of movements, a lot of reach with his spear, and Rush allows him to move and attack at the same time. Passive skill. Move 5 squares, then deal damage to a single adjacent enemy. Oh, okay. That's what that was when I threw the switch, and that enemy next to me took damage. See, that also sounds really nice. So, I'm kind of leaning toward not deploying Benedict. I wouldn't have a way to increase defenses without him, but Yulio can both grant TP and raise offenses. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Eridor stays, he's tank. Right. How are the enemies positioned? Well, we got archers here. Bunch of people down this way. The bulk of the enemies seem to be on the west side, so I'm gonna put my tank over there. Have him advance. Although, if I recall how this works, the area burns for a few turns, and whoever's trapped inside can't get out until it stops. So, let's see. How far away is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think Roland will actually be able to reach it in first turn. He's just one square too far away. But what about Huette? How far can she move? 5? And her attack range is 4? Oh wait, Roland's movement is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll be able to hit it. So I'll swap these two then. Wait, I still have Corrington? I thought I took him out. Oh no, I went with Benedict. I'm still not sold on Corrington, to be honest. Blessing of Ice. Okay. Restore 1 TP at the start of your turn when standing on an icy square. Well, there's no ice here. I think his ice wall, when it fades, it leaves 3 ice squares where it was, so it could still be useful. And I think freeze does the same thing. So maybe that's the way to properly use him, and I was just playing like an idiot before. So what I don't get is why are things like Frosty Fetters grayed out? Do you only have a certain amount of skills you can equip? Or does it maybe only become available on under certain conditions? It doesn't specify if that's the case. I can't move these around. Alright, I'll bring him along, see what happens. Jiva... Okay, looks good to me, so let's save and get to it. Maybe they're level based? Could be. I was just under the impression that if it shows up on their status screen, it means they've already learned it. But it could be something along the lines of they'll learn it at their next level or something. Alright. Let's see if burning our town to the ground helps us win the fight. Wildfire traps. Destroy the Hawk statues scattered across the battlefield to activate the traps. When a particular trap is activated, flames will engulf the area indicated by the yellow panels. There are 4 traps in total. Damn, that's a big area. Pay careful attention to the positioning of all units so as not to injure your allies.
For victory!
You got it. I haven't mentioned anything about it yet, but I quite enjoy the soundtrack so far. It's been really pleasant. Oh wait, does it just kill them?
Wolfort would set their own home ablaze to bring us down. I must admire the desperation.
I assumed they would take damage over time, but now they're just straight dead.
How terrible.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to do this. It's just like the only thing that'll... Oh. Well, hello there. Kids over in the corner, not out of a home. Yeah. They're in the castle, though, so at least they're not dead.
The town is surrounded, and enemies flood in by the moment.
We knew getting into this that we'd be outnumbered. But victory's still in the cards if we're smart about it.
I cannot bear the thought of sacrificing my people. Must I make a callous choice for the greater good?
Again, we're not sacrificing their people. We're sacrificing their homes. Which still really sucks, but they're not dead. They're in the castle.
Avlora, mark my words. I will send you to the depths of hell by my own hand.
This battle is ours.
Okie doke. Let's see. Which one does this one hit? That would take out 3 units currently. I don't think I'm really going to get much in the way of a chance to lure more units to that particular area. They're mostly going to be advancing. So I might want to burn that as quickly as I can.
From where shall we strike?
I will crush you!
Whatever it takes.
They're sure not advancing a whole lot for an advancing army. Moment of truth has to be to an adjacent unit. Okay, that is something to take note of. Benedict had range to his buffs.
Let me heal your wounds.
Grant HP to all allies within range? Holy crap. I wonder if it's like a cross, or if it's like the entire red area. Because if it's the entire red area, then that's a little crazy. And I love it.
Time for some research.
I'll just leave him here. Or maybe it'd be a good idea to actually leave the mages up here. Just kind of position them in the middle so they can cast on people that are below them.
I will end this.
heavens judge you!
My turn.
Time to take flight.
Let me go ahead and knock this statue out. Get wrecked, archers and mage.
General of Lura, the 2nd Regiment has arrived.
Oh dear.
Forward! Leave no trace!
Quail not at their numbers. Defeat is not an option.
Damn, can't reach him with that. These fire effects seem to be having an effect on the frame rate. But, you know, I guess that's forgivable. It's a demo. Hey, you're not supposed to be jumping up there.
Whatever it takes. There! Right on target. You're wide open!
You've done it now! This can't be!
Shall we begin?
Go for it. Okay, so it's a plus shape. That's still good. I like that.
My apologies.
I'll take you on!
Bring it on, nerds!
Time for some research.
I can't quite reach them. Oof. Rip. I guess I can't rotate the AoE. I'd like to put it horizontal here so that the healer can be safe. That doesn't seem like it's going to be possible. Still though, probably good to cut off the root.
The results are in, and excellent. For victory!
The Switch is a bit limited, so it's to be expected with pretty effects. Maybe, but I didn't have frame rate problems with Dragon Quest. Yes!
Onward and upward!
Push back. Ah, I think the grayed out thing did indicate something that they learned at the next level. Well, guess now that that's taken care of, I should bring her back up here.
Allow me.
We can win this! I will do what I must.
Blazing Chains. That sounds neat.
Behold true power.
So I'm guessing this just makes it rain in general. not anywhere specifically. Hey, we got puddles now, though.
For the honor of House Wolford!
For my kith and kin.
You've done it now!
Flee while you have the chance.
I'm a little worried about when she's gonna start moving.
Me too!
But so far, nothing at least.
You've done it now!
Okay, when can I start healing with him? Steel back.
I'll take it from here.
Okay, up next we got Roland, then Hawk Lady. Who's that? Okay, that's that swordsman. He's not going to be able to get close enough to the tank to do anything, so I'm not too worried. Actually, he might if I kill this dude. I'm gonna leave him alive for now. Let me check. 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Definitely should not kill him yet. There you go.
Delightful.
Now her next fire spell is going to deal more damage. Okay, that restores 50 HP. Suppose I could.
I'll try this.
Since the healer's going to be focused on healing the tank.
Time to take flight. Shall we begin?
No, don't end your turn without healing, thanks. So about that, about healing the guy. He may be a little bit out of range. That's not good. That's very ungood. Well.
Is that all you got?
I could heal him to keep him alive a little longer.
Now or never.
Where was I?
Let's see. Frosty Fetters. Okay, it's a single target spell. No one's died yet, but the tank is not looking good. And I wasn't able to reach him with the healer, so we'll see what happens.
Most interesting.
Let me show you what I've learned.
We can win this.
Well, I got 2 kills. That's not bad. Are you serious? Where are they? Where are they coming from? How did they get up there?
To think we'd need to deploy all our forces. You are a worthy foe, Wolford. But
Spells do not have friendly fire, no.
Defeat is not an option.
That hit the mark. You're wide open.
Okay, Shield Bearer is going to attack the tank. Just fine.
Behold true power.
She only has 1 TP at the moment. I don't want to overextend her, but she can't really do anything this turn. I guess she can throw a Firestone. Oh, he's too far down. So I gotta throw to this one.
You'll regret facing me. It will end soon.
Flee while you have the chance.
Oh god, she's moving. What's her movement range? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what are the range of her attacks? Deal greater physical damage when at 50% or less of your maximum HP. Gain immunity to all status ailments. Good. She has 25 strength. I don't know if her risky maneuver has a range. Doesn't look like it. So I should be able to move Roland down here to deal with this guy.
Did you see that?
Here I come. Victory is ours.
You get stabbed. Yeah, you're kind of accurate with that.
I'll take it from here.
Hold up. They've more or less got things covered down there now, so I think I'm going to turn my attention back up here. managed to pick her route as your very first one? Yeah, so did I. And I'm sure the decision had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that she was the only lord that was a cute girl. Give him to... Give her to... Give her to... I'll give him to. A lot of these enemies seem to be weak to ice.
This shall be a boon.
Shall we begin?
Much better.
I'll show you what I'm made of.
Come at me, shield bros. Oh, I don't think that worked.
Time for some research. Most interesting. From where shall we strike?
Claude was my second one, I think. I did Blue Lions last. Actually, I did Church Route last.
Oh, allow me.
Alright, when are you going? No time soon? Okay.
We can win this.
Yes, we can.
Won't lose.
This battle is ours.
Okay, that guy can't move now.
Flee while you have the chance.
Avlora, you murderous bastard! You'll pay for what you've done!
You will share the same fate as your master.
No, don't slam me in her direction.
Very well.
You jerk. Oh, okay. So either hits one person, or if it gets connected to... It spreads to all the puddles that it hits. Either that, or it's only one square. I guess that makes sense. So that's only going to hit one person, but it will kill him. And I can either hit one of these shield bearers or the archer. Looks like all the shield bearers I hit are going to get killed. So I'm going to get this one simply because he's in the way of Roland retreating. And I have a good enough wall built up around the other three people that I don't really have to worry about it. Also, I think my tank just took damage from that. Whoops. My bad.
I'll take it from here.
How you doing over there, buddy?
Delightful. Let me heal your wounds.
I'll show you what I'm made of.
I'm just gonna retreat him and have him heal. Cause, ouch. My bad.
Now or never.
Where was I?
I think you were just about to freeze some fools, actually.
Yes, very effective.
Forward!
To lead, I must grow.
For victory!
I don't like how there's nowhere he can go to escape. Well, is there anyone he can attack at least? No. I think I'll just move him back and heal.
I'll try this. I shirk from no danger.
The hunt is on.
I can't reach this statue, unfortunately. I wonder if I... No, she's immune to all ailments. I was gonna try and bind her legs so she can't close in, but that's not gonna work.
My pride is my shield. I will end this.
Get out of here.
For a better world.
I will crush you.
He nice?
Now come and feel the wrath of my blade. Take this!
That wasn't too bad. Of course, she didn't actually use her
Behold
attack.
power.
Okay, let's see. This is Izana. I'm just gonna move her. Space over. Wait, actually... I'll move over here and use an item on Eridor. So he can actually get back to real tanking.
Let's see.
She doesn't seem to have a weakness. gonna give him a buff so he can use his Hawk move.
For victory!
And then retreat him back here. I might have Roland just deal with the other shield bearer back there, for the most part.
This battle is won.
Not yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Cool heads shall prevail.
That's the stuff. You won't beat me.
If she's immune to status ailments, I think she's probably going to be immune to provoke as well, since it doesn't always work even on normal units. So I guess just smack her. Smack.
Look at me learning. Where was I?
Let's see. There you go. That's gonna push her. That's gonna push her over her threshold. Big brain idea. In turn, let her get her turn, and then whittle her down. Because she has that passive buff. Where her damage goes up at 50% HP or lower. But then she ran away. What a bitch. I was gonna kill you. Okay, she currently has 3 TP. He's at 1. She's at 1. I think I might just give one to the healer, just in case I need AoE healing. I don't think I will, but I might.
For victory! I'll try this.
Time to take flight. This battle is won.
When a wolf is cornered,
oh, I can't use Hawk Dive. Okay. Oh wow, she's actually taking some serious damage from that.
Very well.
Sorry about this, what's your face? Serenoa? But this is gonna hurt. Don't worry, she's weak to it, and you're not.
The heavens bless me. Shall we begin?
Okay, let's see. She wouldn't have been able to reach Serenoa with her speed, with her range, unfortunately. I just have to hope that he doesn't die.
You won't beat me.
43 HP left.
Away!
So, it falls to me.
One. Well, how about this? Come on, get her! Kick her ass! Yes!
My research bears fruit.
She loses!
But to retreat? Master, we prevailed.
Is it over? Nope. Gotta take out the stragglers. Which is certainly gonna be easy.
We can win this.
My turn. Be gone.
Here I come.
Strike while the iron's hot.
How you doing there, Serenoa? You living?
Much appreciated. When a wolf is cornered.
He's hanging on somehow. So does this guy just not move? No, he doesn't. See, he doesn't even have a movement range. That's extremely exploitable.
I need this.
Behold true power.
Cool heads shall prevail.
Thank you. I've been waiting for this.
I'm just gonna have him stand on this loop.
I fight for peace.
So, it falls to me.
My turn.
Someone else stand on the other loop.
This battle is ours.
Rip.
Forward.
For my kith and kin.
I'll take it from here.
Allow me.
My turn.
The hunt is on.
Oh no, he can't move now. Not that he
Shall
can
we
move
begin?
before.
Most appreciated. I'll take you on.
Where was I?
Very well.
Okay, nobody gets zapped this time. This time.
Defeat is not an option.
G. That's the last of them, I think. Hell yeah. That wasn't so bad. They made it sound like an almost unwinnable battle, but really it wasn't that awful. I didn't even have to use half the thingamajiggers, the hawk statues.
The mad bastards. To think they would set their own people's homes ablaze. Retreat! All companies withdraw at once!
Victory is ours.
Hey, look on the bright side. We didn't burn down half the town.
Though both sides suffer great losses on the battlefield, in the end, it is House Wolfort that triumphs. The vanquished General of Vlora is forced to retreat to Castle Whiteholm, with the Esfrosti army in tow.
Hey, I believe her orders were not to return until she had the prince. I don't think Gandalf is going to be happy. Holy crap, it's still going. Yes, we won, no thanks to you.
House Wolfort triumphed?
Yes, my lord. The Archduke's army has already withdrawn to the Crown City. That said, it would seem the Wolfort army suffered significant casualties.
Did it now?
Hey, we didn't lose a single fighter. I don't know what you're talking about. We lost a couple houses.
It's not as if I entirely failed to consider the possibility of an Esfrosti defeat. And yet, it is hardly an ideal development. Whatever are we to do now?
Stop being a bunch of bitches. That's my advice.
Wolfort may have won the battle, but can they win the war?
My lord?
Ready a bird. I have a missive that needs sending.
As you command.
Don't trust him. What's he scheming? Now for the Lord I like much more. He's probably going to be beside himself with pride. Even though he didn't actually help out.
I bring good news, my lord. Esfrost army marched on Castle Wolfort in an attempt to seize the prince. But they were roundly defeated by House Wolfort's forces and retreat to the Crown City as we speak.
Joyous tidings indeed. I knew the Wolforts wouldn't let us down.
I'm also pleased to report that Prince Roland is unscathed.
It would seem young Serenoa is more than capable of carrying on Lord Simon's legacy.
Triumph as they did, they still suffered considerable casualties in the battle. It is
Why
more
is
than
everybody
likely
lying?
that Frost is already preparing for a second attack.
Very well. Take stock of our own forces and determine how many men we can send to House Wolfort's aid while retaining enough for our own protection.
Yes, my lord.
It is time to take a stand. If the three high houses come together as one, I am certain we will prevail.
Okay, we got Hawk's Roost and Whiteholm Castle. I kind of want to see what Gandalf has to say. Get wrecked, you
I have no
nerds.
words to excuse my failure, Your Grace. I underestimated the Wolfort army. It will not happen again.
Indeed, it will not. I will accept no apology for your incompetence, save victory. The Wolforts may have gotten the better of us this time, but it came at a cost. We must strike again before they can regroup. Rest yourself, Avlora. I will have need of you yet, and soon.
I shall not disappoint you again, Your Grace. You have my word.
And you will keep it. Nothing and no one will stand in my way.
Well, except for, you know, your normal ragtag band of misfit heroes. In standard RPG fashion. I wonder if the cutscene would have been any different if I didn't actually light any houses on fire. I would have had to kill a few more ranged units, and it would have been a much harder battle.
My thanks to you both. Your aid is most welcome.
But that would be pretty awesome to come out on top without actually sacrificing the town at all.
I am ready.
Go safely, Anna, and give my best to the others. We take a risk in entreating a powerful nation for aid. I need you to determine to what extent we can rely on them, if at all.
Well, I don't think we can count on that dickhead dude.
Leave it to me.
Like literal,
I've sent
looks
Anna
like
to the Holy
his
City
head
of Hyzia.
is the head of a penis.
Our alliance may not be what it once was, but we must seek help wherever it may be found.
In a perfect world, we would be able to count on the cooperation of our neighbors here.
Indeed.
Oh, really?
Unity within
Could be.
Glenbrook is of the utmost priority, especially now
I didn't get a good look
that
at the northern side of the town, so maybe that was burned too, but the focus was on the middle part.
And yet, we cannot count on houses
And I only saw the two things that I burned down burned.
We must prepare ourselves for every contingency.
You are right as always, Benedict. We've taken the first step down our chosen path, but there is no telling what awaits us.
We still have more stuff. Oh, it's dickhead time. Don't trust him.
To be quite frank, I underestimated House Wolfort's strength. To think they were capable of driving off the Esfrosti army forces like that.
I suspect the outcome came as a surprise to the Archduke as well. And yet something tells me Wolfort's victory is more than a fluke.
I shall keep that in mind.
Still, this development is to our advantage. This will only make it easier to carry out our plans.
Just so, Your Excellency. Everything is proceeding as you anticipated.
We shall have our way. It is but a matter of time.
I don't like the idea of a walking penis having its way with me. I do not consent.
you have a moment, Your Highness.
Oh, it's you. As silly as it may sound, I've never truly understood what it meant to be royalty. Does my life carry more weight simply because of the blood in my veins? So much so that the lives of others must be sacrificed in my name?
You need not worry about that, Roland.
Lord Wolford speaks true. The scales of conviction guided us, but this decision was ours. We have chosen to walk this path with you.
I was born the second prince. No one expected great things of me. And yet, simply because I had the good luck to survive, my very existence now necessitates all these sacrifices.
If I may be so bold, it was not luck, Your Highness. We protected you.
Yeah, give us some credit. Thanks.
I know this, of course. That's what makes this so hard. You all fought and continue to fight for me. And I could scarcely take care of myself.
I mean, don't be too hard on yourself. You're pretty good with the spear.
I need to
Hey, my friend's also playing this now.
I must. For my own sake, and for yours.
This is probably the end, isn't it? Yep. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed the demo. What fate lies in store for our protagonists? Look forward to Triangle Strategy, a tactical RPG that will challenge your convictions, and the second release in the HD 2D series. Hopefully with a better name by the time it comes out. Although, knowing these devs, if they end up sticking with Triangle Strategy, there's some meta reason for doing so. They just love doing that with their titles. Developed by ArtDink. I don't know why, that's a funny name to me. So yeah, fellas, that is the demo for Project Triangle Strategy. I like what I see. It has a lot of promise. We only got to do 2 battles, but there was quite a bit of variety in the way you approach both of them. And I look forward to what the full product does have in store for it. What else it can do. That's pretty... It was a really enjoyable demo. Now... the question is, do I have enough time to actually play Star Ocean today? That ended up taking about 2 hours longer than I expected it to. I mean, I could squeeze a bit in, I guess, but it would be like an hour or hour and a half at most. Ah, hell, you know what? Screw it. I'll do that. Why not? I'm going to take a bit of a break, though. I do have to use the bathroom and go get something to eat real quick. I'll probably be back in about 15 minutes at the top of the hour. And then I'll be playing Star Ocean for a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and cut stream during that time. So enjoy your break as well. I'll be right back.